Hey guys, it's Eric from Edrumcenter here, and we're going to talk about the Alesis NITRO MAX kit. So we started selling Alesis about
last week,
2 weeks ago. It's not been too long.
Yeah,
We've not been on the site for too long, and we got our first shipment in about a week ago. And this was the first kit we wanted to unbox and check out because it seems like it's one of the more popular options in this lower price category. And so we set it up, put it through its paces, everybody played on it, and so we have some thoughts about it. First things first, for what you get for $3.99, I don't think it's that bad. It's definitely, there's obviously, we sell way better kits than this, and Alesis makes way better kits than this. But if you only have $3.99 to spend, it's definitely something that should be on your radar. Everything seems to work out of the box.
the only thing that we had out of the box that you might want to watch out for, make sure that you tighten the heads down.
Yeah.
It might be okay. Most of the time whenever a kit comes out of the box, it's fine. We just noticed there were a few minor triggering issues with it to begin with, but once we tightened the heads up, it was fine.
Yeah, and that's actually the case for all electronic kits. Heads can loosen up in the box in transit.
Right.
They can loosen up while you're playing. So keeping a good tension on your mesh heads, if this is your first kit, just keep that in mind going forward for your second kit. It's going to be a thing you need to keep an eye on. If it starts mistriggering or something, get that drum key out, tighten it up a little bit, not over tightening because you can mess up the head, but just make sure you've got enough tension on there to make contact with the sensor underneath. Super important. It also, it comes with about 32 kits across genres. So it's got rock kits, jazz kits. It draws from the BFD library of samples.
I think it's got 450 samples to choose from.
Yeah, you can create your own kits. There's 16 slots for that. I think it's got a kick tower, so you have the ability to use your own kick pedal, which it does come with.
Right.
It's not a great kick pedal. It works, but you could upgrade it to like a Drum Workshop, Tama, Pearl, to your heart's desire, and maybe get a better experience out of that. The hi-hat controller seems to work. I always personally prefer a hi-hat controller with a real hi-hat stand, but those really don't start until much higher price range. Like we're talking $1,500, $1,600.
For this price point, that's pretty much par for the course.
It seems to be, yeah.
Yeah, and it for what it is, it works fine. And I can handle a fixed hi-hat controller more than a fixed bass drum controller. So the fact that this has the ability to use a bass drum pedal, but still kind of made the compromise for the fixed hi-hat, it does what it needs to do. It's pretty responsive, especially doing intricate stuff. I felt like it was, for the most part, keeping up with everything I was doing. I didn't ever feel like it was.
You're not, it's not targeted towards a pro drummer,
right.
which you are. So to do four on the floor, basic, learning rudiments and stuff, it's fine.
All right.
It picks up that kind of stuff, no problem.
I would even say it's better than fine.
Yeah.
It's.
I would love to have a bell on the ride, but in this price range, nothing seems to have that. Right. So it's not uncommon for it just to have a 2-zone ride. It's something you could trade this kit in on something more expensive.
So one of the things that is cool about this that you don't see in a lot of kits at this price range is you do have 2 additional trigger inputs. Mm-hmm. You've got an additional cymbal and additional tom, which that in and of itself is pretty cool.
It also gives you USB out,
right,
to trigger software or record.
So if you're looking for something to do TikToks or something like that, this would probably be a pretty good bet for something like that as well. The mesh heads, again, at this price point, I like the inclusion of the mesh heads. Are they the best mesh heads I've ever played on? By no means, but they're the best mesh heads I've ever played at the $400 price range, right? They play well.
Yeah, most kits in this price range use all rubber pads still.
Yep.
From other manufacturers.
Exactly. So the fact that they even included it at all is pretty amazing.
It looks kind of cool too. The drums actually have a little bit of maybe a 1-inch shell to them. There's like a red, like it almost looks like wood grain wrap on it. So it looks kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, if I'd have gotten this kit when I was like 10 years old, I mean, it would have been way better than the pots and pans I was playing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because my parents wouldn't buy me one.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's for what it is. It's pretty cool. Do we have beefs with it? Is it as nice as a $3,000 kit that we sell? No, but yeah, I think for the money, it's a pretty good value. I do think that I would love it if it had a more robust rack. It's got a kind of a non-standard half. I don't even know the dimensions on it. It's not 1.5 inch. It's maybe like 3/4 of an inch rack.
Maybe. I don't think we got to. Yeah, because it's definitely half the size of a standard rack, but I don't know that that's exactly right either, because the posts are a little thicker.
Yeah.
But the crossbars.
The crossbars are thin.
Yeah. There's also, while we're talking about the stuff we don't love about it, there's also a groove on the top and bottom of the crossbars that is meant to keep the clamps in place.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a memory lock of sorts.
Which once I kind of figured out what it was doing and that I could still loosen the clamps up and still turn it vertically, I was okay with it. But at first it seems like it doesn't let you do that. So just make sure when you get into it, loosen it up and give it a little bit of force. You don't want to do too much, but it does click as you're turning. But there's a sleeve on the inside of the clamp that actually hooks down into that groove, and then the clamp kind of moves over top of it. So just be aware of that. The thing, again, that I don't mean to harp on the things I don't like about it, but the thing that I liked least about it, in addition to the not super strong rack, is the fact that the rack uses Allen screws to tighten
instead of drum key,
or even wing nuts. That kind of annoyed me. That being said, it's a pretty standard size Allen wrench. They do give you one when you get the kit as well. Not the worst thing in the world, but just be aware. It just kind of...
Yeah, if it's somebody's first kit, they won't have that bias.
Exactly.
So it probably not a big deal.
So, but if this isn't your first kit, just be prepared for that. That being said, though, I love the fact that it came in a single box that was pretty easy to move by myself.
Super portable.
The kit itself is very light.
Yeah, if you're looking for something to fit in a small area, it's definitely compact.
Yep.
It definitely will be easy to move. If you're like picking it up and trying to take it to a buddy's house to play.
Right. And it's going to be,
super
with
easy.
the mesh heads, that's going to be a little bit quieter than, say, maybe the Yamaha that we looked at a few weeks ago. Now, the cymbal pads are still, pretty patty, right? So they're going to be pretty clicky when you're playing on them.
They're plastic with a rubber, strike surface.
Right.
To dampen the sound, yeah.
More official way to say that. So, but that being said, I used to have an Alesis Command kit, and it's basically the exact same triggers that they had on those for the cymbals. And when I played on that kit, I never had a problem with the cymbals. They always triggered well. They played well.
They definitely seem like they're going to be durable.
Yeah, for sure. Because I had mine for a few years, and it never gave me any issues. But I mean, otherwise, for the price point.
One thing we do like that we haven't mentioned yet is, as part of the package from Alesis, you get 90 days of lessons with Drumeo and or 60 days or 60 lessons with melodics. So it gives you some value there.
Right.
Honestly, I'm not sure what those programs cost by themselves, but they do cost you something.
Well, that tells me too that they have the beginner in mind for this kit. So that's a great way to kind of get yourself started. Give yourself some lessons out the door. Now, in line with that too, it's got a built-in metronome. It's got built-in playthroughs. It would be a great kit for a beginner, just because it does seem like they had that demographic in mind as they put it together, and they included a lot of the features that you would want for a beginner. It's just all right there at your fingertips, easy to access.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess the total verdict on this is, for the money, it's pretty cool. Is it the best kit we sell? No, but it's also one of the least expensive kits we sell, and is targeted at for sure a beginner. So we have these in stock pretty much at all times. The link is in the description to purchase one, and we're gonna go and wrap it up. Subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Like it, and if you have any questions, post it in the comments, and we'll talk to you guys next time.